हेलो फ्रेंड्स। आज हम मैनहट्टन के टूर पे जा रहे हैं। सो एवरीबडी इज़ रेडी। आपका भाई भी रेडी है। दो यू विल सी के मैं वाइट बहुत ज़्यादा रिपीट कर रहा हूँ, बट कल ब्लैक पहनेंगे एंड ब्राउन पहनेंगे। सो बताओ फिट कैसा लग रहा है भाई का। आई होप इट्स लुकिंग गुड, राइट अर्जुन?
बताओ तुम दोनों का फिर
बताना।
क्रिश का मत दिखाओ।
क्रिश का नहीं दिखाते हम, बिकॉज क्रिश बन रहा है हरा बंदा।
ओह या ये हमें हमारे पेरेंट्स की कमी महसूस नहीं होने देगा।
So guys, are we ready? 6 घंटे टोटल है। टोटल गाइस 6 घंटे का टूर है आज, और आपको व्लॉग्स में दिखाऊंगा मैं सारा विद डिस्क्रिप्शन। सो हम सिटी टूर के लिए रेडी हैं एंड 7th एवेन्यू पे हैं इस टाइम पे। So coffee time guys. Good. ये रोजी देखो कैसे मुंह फुला के बैठी है। रोज देखो जरा हमारे ऑडियंस की तरह। हाँ जी बोलो हाय। हाय बोलो रोजी। हाय विन, तू भी हाय बोल।
हाय।
अर्जुन तू भी हाय बोल ले बेटा। और क्रिश हाय।
हेलो
या दे everybody saying hi bro. Yo yo yo.
You have to have it right. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you have to wait. Don't step up.
हम अपनी टूर में जाने के लिए रेडी हो रहे हैं। उसने कहा था कि 9:30 बजे तक आ जाना, और यहाँ पे लाइन फॉर्म हो रही है, यहाँ पे खड़ा होना है।
Motu. हाँ जी
अरे भाई लाइन में खड़े गाइस। गाइस हमें ग्लास टॉप वाली मिली है।
मिली नहीं है, ली है ताले।
ग्लास टॉप वाली ली है।
Yeah.
Nice. Hello.
这两个嘛，这个，你要不坐后，你坐里面，给你照。
对，等一下再。
थोड़ी देर में टूर शुरू होने लगा है एंड we'll be going different places today. I think मेमोरियल भी जाएंगे जहाँ पे Twin Tower का was 9/11 and some other places too. So we'll try to keep you guys updated. Okay, let's go.
1, 2, 3. Good morning! Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man, the legend, the driver known as Torres. On the count of 3, good morning, Torres. 1, 2, 3. Good
morning, Torres!
Somebody said buenos dias, so good on you for that. All right, let's start the tour with a little bit of trivia. It is against the law in New York City. It's against the law in New York City to honk your horn unless it's an emergency. You can look that up on the Google, it's true. And let me be the very first to welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to Longacre Square, which is what this was 125 years ago, when it was the center of transportation here in Manhattan, or as the kids call it, Manhattan. I don't know where that particular accent comes from, but you hear it all the time now. And what we named this part of town Times Square, why it's the building at the end of the street. If you scooch down, we're going to be turning on 47th Street, right, Torres? 47th?
Okay.
You scooch down, you can see that the building at the end of the block says 2024 on top of it. That is the Times building. The New York Times has long ago left that building. It is at 40th and 8th Avenue now. But that is what renamed this part of town Times Square. Times Square. Now it is my goal for you, ladies and gentlemen, with each rotation of the bus wheel, to be either smarter or more entertained. I am the only tour guide using music that works for the company. Why do I use music? More fun. We get to sing, but most importantly, nothing attaches to memory in the same way that music does. I saw an interview the other night with Stephen Colbert talking to a physicist, and he said, we know that exercise releases endorphins, which are the feel-good hormones, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else, he asked, is there anything else that releases endorphins in the same way? And the scientist said, music. So music does that. This is the TKTS booth, ladies and gentlemen, the TKTS booth. You can save a bundle of money on Broadway shows right here, but do take my strong advice. There are 12 windows, as you can see right there, to serve you. But do have more than one show in mind, because the last thing you want to do is get to the front of the line, have only one show in mind, and have that show sell out, and they will say to you, you're just in time to be too late. Shoot. So have more than one show in mind. So everybody saw the ball on top of the 2024, on top of the spike, I hope. And that, of course, is how we celebrate New Year's now. We used to celebrate New Year's with fireworks. Problem with fireworks? Set stuff on fire. So we switched to the ball. Originally it was made of wood. Now it is made of Waterford crystal and covered in 3,200 LED lights. 3,200. And you should see me up there every November checking for the duds. Oh, there's one. How many of you believe that? Good. Should not. So let's talk about the Broadway Theater District for just a second. The Broadway Theater District, this is a Broadway theater right here. There are roughly 41 of them, and almost none of them are on the street known as Broadway. Most of them are on these side streets here. Most of them are on the side streets. What constitutes a Broadway theater? Let me make you smarter immediately. A Broadway theater is a theater in this district that has more than 500 seats in the auditorium. That means an off-Broadway theater is a theater in this district that has between 100 and 500 seats in the house. Less than 100 seats, you're off Broadway. You can pass a quiz now. See there? So, first thing to show you on the tour, ladies and gentlemen, right here, this little fire station, this humble little fire station lost more firefighters on 9/11 than almost any other in the city, except for the one that you will see later on today, directly across the street from the site where the World Trade Centers once stood. Now, there are two ways to describe the tour. One is logistically, the other is substantively. What's in the tour in terms of composition, and what are the rules of the road for us? So logistically, did you know that we offer private tours? On a private tour, we follow you around. We have a list of places. You pick from them. We put them in order so that we're not zigzagging across the city and wasting your time. And then we go. And if you want to go into a store, we follow you, or we stay outside. Your choice. You want to stop and buy a donut or a pretzel or a hot dog, smoke a cigarette, buy a Coke, get a cappuccino. We wait. This is not that tour. No, this tour has been put together by the company in order to provide maximum entertainment and education for a bunch of folks at one time, okay? So it's very, very important that you stay with the bouncing red umbrella, and I lead the tour. If at any point during the day you find yourself in front of me, you have a very important question to ask yourself. Do I know where this tour is going? Chances are you do not, so follow me. Let me swear you in. Everybody raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I. State your name. State your name. Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
To stay with the tour.
to stay with the tour.
Should I get lost,
Should I get lost,
I promise to call the phone number on my ticket
I promise to call the phone number on my ticket
and report myself as missing.
and report myself as missing.
Hands down, just sworn in. All right, a little bit about the substance of the tour in just a moment. But first, I want to take you back in time to 1977. We are passing 52nd Street, and very soon we'll be passing 54th Street. We're on 8th Avenue. We picked you up on 7th Avenue, and in between is Broadway and on 54th Street. Two entrepreneurs in 1977, Ian Schrager and his pal, Steve Rubel, got tired of the dirty, nasty, dingy nightclubs of the day. They found a disused television studio, once the home of Captain Kangaroo. They fixed it up real nice and opened the doors, and guess what? History was made. What else was going on in 1977? Well, you had Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You had Woody Allen's movie Annie Hall. And you had this fine little motion picture, I Know You Know Star Wars. But do you know? Wait for it. Work with me, people. Just know Star Wars. Studio 54, between 7th and 8th Avenue. Between 7th and 8th Avenue. And how would you get into Studio 54? You could be beautiful, you could be rich, you could be a sports hero, a rock star. You could be R2-D2. Or you could have snuck through the air conditioning duct, as one guy tried to do. They found him a couple of days later when he started to put up a stink. Do not let this happen to you. Don't let anybody try to talk you into sneaking into a nightclub that way. It works out poorly, it turns out. So, Studio 54, still around as a nightclub called 54 Below. But I do want to take a moment just to talk to you about the substance of the tour. How many of you here have been to Pearl Harbor? Anybody here? Only, okay, just a couple. But that's fine. Pearl Harbor, you go there basically to pay your respects to the wreckage of the Arizona. You take a barge across the harbor, and that's where it is. But you enter through the museum/gift shop. You see all these blow-ups of newspaper headlines from around the world. We've gone to war, sneak attack, blah, blah, blah. And remember these things. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the very first traffic circle in America. Also the first roundabout if you're from the UK. This is Columbus Circle. Columbus Circle, the pride and joy of the Italian community. And it, of course, commemorates the achievements of Christopher Columbus. The Columbus Day, or Indigenous Peoples Day, depending on your preference, happens on Monday. This, again, commemorates the achievements of Christopher Columbus, who is credited with discovering America, which I'm sure was quite a surprise to the people on the shore waiting to greet him. Oh, look, we're discovered. Maybe we should hide. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the very first of two properties that you'll see today belonging to the former President of the United States. This is Trump International Hotel, or as we call it in Texas, Trump International Hotel. It's a hotel. Things are getting fancier and fancier as we go up the Upper West Side. This is 8th Avenue once again, and this is pronounced Target. Now, just a little bit about me, your humble servant. My name is Kevin Finney. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, in 1955. I'll be 70 in February. And I was born in the only year the Brooklyn Dodgers won the World Series. My mother's third of 6 husbands, don't judge, moved us to El Paso, Texas when I was just 7 years old. I grew up there. I went to Texas Tech University originally in Lubbock, Texas. And I don't do many impressions, but I'm pretty good at doing me. This is me in magazine writing class. Can you see the board? That's me in magazine writing class. Anyway, I finished my degree in Austin, Texas. I became the theater critic of the daily paper there. And they sent me right back here to New York City, where I stayed in this very hotel, looked out the front door, and what did my wandering eyes behold but Lincoln Center. Lincoln Center, home to the 11 different arts organizations, including the ballet, the Philharmonic, and the opera. This land was obtained by the government through a process known as eminent domain. That means the government offers you in the neighborhood fair market value, wink, wink, for your property, and says it'd be super cool if you didn't live here in about 90 days. Many of the windows that you're looking at here are still bulletproof because what this neighborhood was notorious for was gang warfare between the Fighting Irish, the African Americans, and Puerto Ricans. But before they bulldozed the neighborhood, after they purchased it, they also made a motion picture on this site. And in just a second, you're going to get a clue as to what that is. By the way, the original name of the neighborhood, San Juan Hill. So what was the name of that movie?
West Side.
Exactly. West Side Story, the original West Side Story filmed right there before they started to build the building. It took 14 years to build it entirely. There's Juilliard School for the Arts adjoining. And Juilliard is where, of course, Yo-Yo Ma, the family, is that this is not only where New York City and New York State, but America put its stamp on the arts and said, we believe in the arts. But did you know that for centuries there were occasional riots over the kinds of art we should have in the New World? Some people thought we should only import art from Western Europe because they've been doing it for centuries and they got it right. Some people said, no, Renaissance, New World, new ideas, only celebrate new art. And yet there's only one accepted form of art, new art, that's credited to the Americas. Anybody like to guess as to what it is? It is, in fact, jazz. There's a jazz program at Lincoln Center overseen by Wynton Marsalis. Now, can everybody, who's kind of squinched down, I'm sorry about the visible lines, but as we turn, as we will on the next block to the right, you'll be able to look up and see the Ansonia's, how fancy it actually is. The green fixtures on top tell you that there was once a farm there. And there was also, how fancy is this place? They had an elevator just for the cattle.
Wow.
Because if you've ever tried to do a cattle drive on stairs, you're at it all day. They're very uncooperative. On the main level, in the fountain, they had live seals. And in the basement, it was a matrix of spas that by the early 1970s became a gay bathhouse known as the Continental Baths, and that is where Bette Midler got her start with her piano playing accompanist and arranger, a guy you may have heard of named Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
So, as you look around and as you walk through the city during your visit, you'll notice that most of the street signs are green or blue. The green and blue signs mean that you can do whatever you want to the facade of the front of your building so long as it meets safety code. But, and also these are original entrances to the subways. They try to keep them up. But as we make this turn, ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice that the street signs go brown. The street signs are going to go brown. So what do the brown street signs mean? I'll tell you in just a second, but let's wrap up with the Ansonia by letting you know that who lived here? Babe Ruth, baseball immortal, the Bambino. This is where Arturo Toscanini, the great conductor, lived. And there was a guy who lived here in the teens of the last century named Chick Gandy, G-A-N-D-I. And Gandy gathered friends together here at the Ansonia to plot to throw the worlds. Street signs mean, do you see how they're turned from green to brown? You'll be able to see it much more clearly as we make the turn, which we are now.
Buildings can't be updated, maybe? They have to like stay kind of how they were.
So the brown street signs indicate that you are now entering an historic district, which is why you can look up and see these grand old, beautiful, beautiful buildings, these crappy little air conditioners sticking out of them. What is that all about? Well, it's about the fact that all of the value, so much of the value, ladies and gentlemen, of the buildings is tied up in their history. Tied up in their history. The Dakota. So called because it opened before the subways did, and people said it was like coming to Dakota. That archway there that you're looking at, that was the site of the assassination of John Lennon. On December 8, 1980, he and his wife Yoko Ono were returning from a recording session. He was approached by a crazed fan who shot him several times, and he died very shortly thereafter at a New York hospital. Many people who are not my age don't remember this, but within the span of a year and a half, John Lennon, Ronald Reagan, Anwar Sadat, the president of Egypt, and Pope John Paul II were all shot. And all right, folks, gather round, gather round. Once again, leave room for people to get by.
Yeah. सही है ना? ऐसा ही है फिर।
Don't bend in the middle of the sidewalk. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I guess it seems to be everybody. Here we go.
हम सेंट्रल पार्क आ चुके हैं।
So Central Park. बोतल चकले?
Sorry, you're from Texas. Oh, okay. I live in NOLA.
We are from Texas.
I'm sorry?
We are from Texas.
You're from Texas
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, too.
It's like a,
Oh,
it's
nice.
like a family reunion.
Yeah, bro.
Pretty much. All right, everybody look over my shoulder. Can you all see the building with the holes in it?
Yes.
Why does this building have holes in it?
Airflow.
You guys have it on, you're on point. Yes, there are holes in the building so it doesn't sway so much when the wind blows. Oh, sure, they could have made it shorter, but no! No, New Yorkers love to show off. One of the things that you will see over and over and over again, ladies and gentlemen, is how innovative this city is. We are constantly pushing the limits of what civilization will allow. The super talls of Billionaires Row. Here's the thing about the two very important and significant elements. One of them, a dozen years ago, these buildings weren't possible. But through advancements in building technology and materials, you're looking at them today. The other thing is that they are emblematic. They tell you about how we recovered from the disaster of the late 60s and early 1970s, married to Sharon Tate, who had a very unfortunate encounter with the Manson family that we won't go into in detail because we have little ones on board. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to head into Strawberry Fields. Right in the middle of Strawberry Fields, you will see a mosaic. You can step on it. A lot of people like tiptoe around it, thinking that it's some kind of a shrine. It's just a mosaic. You can step on it. And it says right in the middle of it, it says Imagine, which is the title of John Lennon's most famous song as a solo artist. Now, a lot of people like to have their photograph made there. It is by Delight Honor.
So this is the Central Park.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Yes.
Thank you. Gracias, amigo.
All right, boys and girls. Are you guys okay? Would you like a photograph? Gather round. Tuck in close. I have rustic floss today like I do the second Saturday of every month.
Bless you.
Gather round. We are no longer in Strawberry Fields. This is now Central Park proper. Please come closer because people will be trying to go in both directions behind you. So, Central Park is 778 acres of parkland. It stretches all the way from Central Park West, 5th Avenue, all the way from 59th.
ये तो बिंदी कहती मैं तो ले लूंगी।
हाँ ये सही है, देखते हैं कौन सी ब्रीड है।
क्रिश कहाँ गया हमारा फोटोग्राफर?
ओया ओया भाई बहुत सही पार्क है ना।
लेक मोटो कितना हाँ
ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਨੇ ਹਾਂ
सही है भैया ऐसा पार्क।
वाह फ्लोरिडा में जो है वही सब पार्क है उसी को कर ले
हाँ बहुत ऐसे पेड़ लगा दें वहाँ पे।
है ना उसी का वो लगा दें बढ़िया उसी बट
If these benches is so that we would not be crowding that spot, but if you want to come out and take a photograph, please feel free. If you want to sit on the bench, feel free to do that as well. My friend. And
अच्छा
this is the Bow Bridge. Again, regarded as one of the most romantic spots on the entire continent. You've seen this in Sex and the City. You've seen it in Woody Allen's movie Manhattan. You've seen it in Home Alone 2. You've seen it in the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. He comes swinging down with Kirsten Dunst under an arm. By the way, I paid all of these rowers out to come out here so your pictures would be prettier. How many of you believe that?
Thank you.
Good.
I got it. You got it, girl. I've been doing my weirdness.
यस
All right. So like I said, I found this note that Calvert Bow had left in the archives of Central Park. And it said, I'm in fear for my life. And I've hidden something in Central Park. Now he doesn't say why he was in fear for his life. And he doesn't say when he hid in Central Park. But 90 days later, thereabouts, I was found floating alongside a pond in Brooklyn. So it is right now, 10:45. It'd be so cool if you guys would all get together and solve this by lunch because I'm on your yes, yes. Run for your lives.
Hopefully it's a little more like
Well, the beginning of the anatomy, no, they started around. All right, boys and girls. The building with the flags on it. If you look at the street level, does everybody see all of those display windows? If this was December and not October, each one of those would have a different display calling to you. Each one more dazzling than the one before. They all have one thing in common. They want to know one thing about you. What is your credit card information? This is Saks Fifth Avenue, some of the best shopping in the city.
The sign of Italia.
Yeah, why did I
you go to the right.
We're going to see like an underground show or something.
And if you look down the street, you'll see where it says Radio City. Radio City. Vertical sign.
I want to see what it says back.
All right, please move to the edge of the sidewalk. In here are things that the British were best known for trading with the world at the time the buildings went up. Now, how do I know this building was sponsored by the British Empire? How do I know that this building was sponsored by the British Empire?
ਟੂਰ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਵੈਸੇ ਹਨਾ ਰੋਜ਼ੀ ਟੂਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਵਧੀਆ
Oh God.
हाँ जी मच्छू, कैसा लग रहा है आपको?
There, and you see like a Beyonce or a Jonas Brothers. And the rest of this room is filled in by people. Now let me make you more of a New Yorker than you were 10 seconds ago. Follow.
Yeah, his baby said that they don't got a future like
टूर गए, मुझे मच्छाता दे गया. I'm the tour guy. This is the famous cafe. I don't know how famous it is, but ये जानकी कैफे के बाहर लेके आया क्योंकि कॉफी की तलब होती है ना. आओ कहीं से बच्चे.
भाई बहुत मजा आ रहा है न्यूयॉर्क में.
हाँ मेरे पास वो ये करना 6 घंटे का ट्रिप.
यप, मैं आपको डिटेल्स डालूंगा. टूर की एक सेपरेट वीडियो बनाऊंगा एंड उसमें टूर की सारी डिटेल्स होंगी. सो यू कैन फॉलो एंड आई विल पुट हिज नंबर टू. हेलो. We met Alita
Yep.
and
Enrica,
from.
Lithuania and Louisiana.
Oh wow! So
Bye.
we are doing the tour together in New York. Very amazing tour. Yeah.
Beautiful weather, really nice. Meeting awesome new people.
Yes.
Yep.
Some Indians,
Some Indians.
not red Indians, but Indians.
So you,
I'll read the menu.
Sure you were.
You said it so much that it became tempting.
yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, you said it so much that cafe.
Must go to cafe. Must go cafe.
Subliminal message.
It's like when you tell a kid, don't look. What are they gonna do?
Look. You gotta look.
I'm that kid.
I'll see this mural. What's so special about this mural? A couple of things. If you look at it on a superficial level, it's exactly saying the same thing as the Atlas statue. The gods working in concert with technology and finance to lift humanity to a better tomorrow, yes?
Mad Men, you know it's all about that era. Again, this part of town best known for book publishing. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the New York Public Library, or as we call it in Texas, the library.
Library.
This is the library. You remember that if you've seen the Ghostbusters film, the new one, the lions come to life. The closest they come into life in real life is when we put wreaths around their necks during the holiday season. Now look at my thumb and forefinger briefly. What you're looking at the New York Public Library is only this part, because below ground, all the way from 5th Avenue to 6th Avenue, 6 miles of books.
Wow.
6 miles of books. A gift from the Astor and the Lennox families. A gift from the Astor and the Lennox families. So things were going great guns in this part of town.
That was the tallest building on planet Earth. The tallest building on planet Earth for 49 years. It is now the 49th tallest building on the planet. it was replaced by one of the Twin Towers. Would anyone like to guess how long it took to build the Empire State Building? It took 13 months. 13 months, sometimes 10 floors a week go up.
Seen them on Law and Order. They're all in the Greco-Roman style because why? Because they are meant to suggest to you that humankind's most ancient and beloved aspect of being alive really is that the ability to be judged fairly by. You see these strips that are embedded in the sidewalks here. You see them over here as well? This is Canyon of Heroes. Canyon of Heroes. So called because there were ticker tape parades held here. So you find names like Amelia Earhart and Charles Lindbergh. They were given a great deal of land by the King of England. They never surrendered very much of it at all. NYU, New York University, still sits on land occupied, or owned rather, by Trinity Church. One of the people who helped to build this church turned later on in life to a career in piracy. He's known better as Captain Kidd. Two very famous people are buried here. One of them, Robert Fulton, the fellow who created the steamboat.
Yep.
Its nostrils are flared, its horns are pointed at you to gore you. Its tail is in the shape of a whip, and yet they say that the bull can give you good luck if you rub it in 3 places. The head.
guys.
जा रहे हैं
हम जा रहे हैं
नीचे
हम जाएंगे खाने अब
रात
बहुत
जा रहे
बढ़िया।
हैं अभी ब्रेक मिला है हमें आधे घंटे में वापस जाना है गाइस और ये मॉल बहुत ही बड़ा है जैसे वो बंदा कह रहा था
ठीक है
नहीं पर सही लग रहा है बेटर ही है बड़े बंदे हैं पर ओह गॉड कत्ल चलते हैं देखते हैं
New York, before we go any farther, or any further, I should say, this little column spewing steam at a very slow rate is part of the city's 125-year-old heating and cooling system. It is spewing steam for one of 2 reasons. One, it's part of the city's heating and cooling system periodically let off pressure to keep on your steam. The other thing is that's possible that something's broken. They never tell us which one is going on.
Friends, we are going to the 9/11 memorial where the 2 of the Twin Towers were there. And अब यहाँ पे जितने भी लोगों ने अपनी जान दी थी उनका नाम है So try to sink in.
Before 9/11. Everybody gather around. I want you to walk by. I want you to see that this is the sphere that is sitting there now. And if you were standing right here in front of this railing, you would have been able to take this photograph 25 years ago.
Wow.
25 years already?
Yeah, 23. 23.
Right, but 25 years ago, you still been able to take this photo.
Okay.
Did everybody get a chance to look? So, believe it or not, the sphere was originally meant to represent
What made them want to keep the sphere? Of all the things that they probably recovered, what made them want
I love the question. Thank you.
We'll get coffee somewhere.
9/11.
So this was a place जहाँ पे Twin Tower was. And they made a new building. This is a new. And you can see all the names here. So this guy, well, back has his birthday today, which is they have a flag over here. This thing is insane, guys. My camera is not justifying.
So that I can show you what your opportunity is to see. So if you are standing on the bridge, if you're standing on the bridge, as we pull away, this is what you'll be able to see. You'll be able to look over and see Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Bridge, this is the East River. You look over and you'll see Manhattan right in front of you. You look over to the left side, that's the Hudson River.
मुझे कैसा लगा आपको एक्सपीरियंस?
Good.
बढ़िया?
Tired.
टायर्ड?
Mommy.
या कल और टायर्ड होंगे, सो पहले से रेडी होके वी हैव टू कम.
Manhattan, excuse me, yeah, Lower Manhattan in the harbor. Please do notice this archway. Please do notice this archway. Because if you'd been here 102 years ago in April rather than October, you would have been able to look on the other side of that archway and seen lifeboats marked Titanic.